The art of deception, bluffing in poker. Poker is a game of skill, strategy, and a little bit of luck. But one of the most exciting and potentially profitable aspects of poker is bluffing. The well-timed bluff can win you a pot when your hand is weak, strike fear into your opponents, and ultimately make you a more unpredictable and successful player. Imagine this. You're holding a handful of nothing, but you manage to convince the entire table that you have the nuts. That's the power of a well-executed bluff. In this essay, we'll delve into the world of bluffing, exploring its intricacies and providing you with the knowledge to add this powerful weapon to your poker arsenal. What is bluffing? Bluffing, in essence, is the art of deception. It's about representing a hand that you don't actually have with the goal of forcing your opponents to fold their own hands, even if they are stronger than yours. Think of it like this. You're telling a story with your chips and your actions, creating a narrative that suggests you hold a powerful hand. If your story is convincing enough, your opponents will believe it, even if it's a complete fabrication. Why is bluffing so crucial in poker? Because if you only ever bet when you have a strong hand, your opponents will quickly catch on and refuse to pay you off when you actually do have the goods. Bluffing keeps your opponents guessing, making it much harder for them to put you on a hand. Types of bluffs, semi-bluffing versus pure bluffing. There are two primary types of bluffs in poker, semi-bluffs and pure bluffs. Understanding the difference between these two is essential for bluffing effectively. A semi-bluff is when you bet or raise with a hand that is currently weak but has the potential to improve to a strong hand on a later street. For example, imagine you hold a 4-card flush draw on the flop. You're currently behind any pair, but you have a good chance of making your hand on the turn or river. This is a prime opportunity for a semi-bluff. A pure bluff, on the other hand, is when you bet or raise with a hand that has absolutely no chance of winning at showdown. This is a much riskier proposition, as you're relying entirely on your opponents folding their hands to win the pot. However, when executed correctly, a pure bluff can be incredibly effective. Section 4, picking your spots when to bluff effectively. Knowing when to bluff is just as important as knowing how to bluff. Here are a few situations where bluffing can be particularly effective. Late position. Being in late position gives you the advantage of seeing how your opponents have acted before you have to make a decision. This information can help you determine whether a bluff is likely to succeed. Against tight players. Tight players are those who tend to only play strong hands. They are less likely to call your bluffs, making them ideal targets. On a coordinated board. A coordinated board is one that contains many potential draws, such as straights or flushes. If the board is coordinated, your opponents are more likely to be holding hands that you can beat with a well-timed bluff. Remember, bluffing is all about creating a believable story. Consider your table image, your opponent's tendencies, and the overall flow of the hand before deciding whether or not to bluff. Section 5. Mastering the bluff, practice and patience. Bluffing is a skill that takes time and practice to master. Don't get discouraged if your early bluffs are unsuccessful. Analyze your mistakes, learn from your opponents, and keep practicing. Remember, bluffing is not about trying to win every pot with a weak hand. It's about using deception strategically to gain an edge over your opponents and ultimately win more pots in the long run. So, embrace the art of the bluff and watch your poker profits soar.